Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. The Supreme Court has issued a stunning ruling, one that has seen a conservative judge betray Donald Trump, only to see one of the more unreliable members of the court join Trump's side. But even though this is a victory for the Trump administration, it's not all that it's chalked up to be. But before we get into this, please like, share, join Explain America. It's really important for us to have support for our journalism, and we appreciate it. Now, this concerns a ruling that has been on the radar for some time, and that is the National Institute of Health. They had these DEI programs and gender ideology programs that the Trump administration said did not comply with the administration's executive order, and therefore these grants were on the chopping block. Well, it was probably no surprise to you that one of these rogue judges decided to jump in and block the President of the United States from acting like the President of the United States, essentially making himself the co-president. But anyways, he ruled that you cannot cut these LGBTQ programs or gender ideology programs because it's discriminatory. Well, it wasn't exactly clear what the judge meant, but today the Supreme Court ruled that no, the Trump administration has the green light for right now to slash these programs, or at the very least withhold funding from these programs as the court ruling proceeds through the lower courts. So, in other words, the Supreme Court did not issue a final stay. But there's something very important about this ruling, and that is Chief Justice John Roberts once again has betrayed Donald Trump. He joined the three liberal, that's a euphemism, I would say more left-wing members of the court in deciding that Trump doesn't have the authority to even withhold these funds. But Amy Coney Barrett jumped over and joined Kavanaugh and Gorsuch and Thomas to essentially uphold the Trump administration's right to cut these DEI funds. So once again, the Supreme Court has this very odd composition where you should see the Trump appointees, and in Roberts' case, a Bush appointee, uphold the ability of the Trump administration to perform its core duties in the executive branch. But that's proving not to be the case. So it once again brings the question, is Roberts compromised? What is explaining his bizarre rulings, his flip-flop back and forth? Could it be because he's, pals with one of Trump's biggest persecutors, Norm Eisen, an author of Color Revolutions around the globe? No, I guess it's just a coincidence, right? That, Roberts is friends with one of the biggest left-wing lawfare experts in the entire world. And he just happens to be sitting on the court making these very bizarre rulings. So, hopefully we might get an answer about who Chief Justice John Roberts really is and what he's trying to do on the Supreme Court, because, we're all here scratching our heads, wondering what is it with this guy. Okay, so maybe he needs to be investigated so we can find out exactly who is John Roberts, what is guiding his judicial philosophy, and why he continues to make these bizarre rulings against Donald Trump. Because really it doesn't make a lot of sense. So, maybe John Roberts can explain this too sometime when he's, out in public, assuming that he's accountable like everybody else in the United States should be. So if you have any opinions on this, please share it with us. We appreciate your feedback. And thank you for watching Explain America.